Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be making some tortillas for burritos. I'm going to be using Pima Club flour and fresh milling it, doing a little sifting, and we're going to be putting together our 4-ingredient tortillas. Okay, here are the ingredients that I'm going to be using to make these tortillas. I'm going to be using about 75 grams per tortilla of fresh milled Pima Club flour. I'm going to be using a 1/4 cup of water per tortilla, about 15 grams of lard, and 1/8 of a teaspoon of just regular table salt. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to measure out my wheat berries. And it's going to get loud in here real soon because I'm going to turn the miller on. And we're going to go about, I'm going to sift some of the bran out. So we want to shoot for maybe like 160, 165. That's about right. And I apologize, it's going to get a little loud in here, but we're going to turn on my mock mill. I love this thing. I never thought I would get as much use out of this mill as I've gotten. It is noisy though. Okay, we're done with our milling process. I milled this on the finest setting. It's nice, soft, Pima Club. What I'm going to do is I'm going to sift some of the bran out. So like I said, I need about 75 grams of flour per tortilla, 150 total. So I'm going to turn on my scale, and I'm going to pour some of the flour inside my sifter, and I'm just going to sift till I got about 150 grams of flour. And this takes a few minutes, but it's well worth it. I've made it both ways. I've made it sifted and non-sifted, and I prefer to sift the flour. Just get some of that bran out of there. You get a more tender tortilla. And we're up to 22 grams, and we're just going to keep on going. And I'll bring you back when it's time to mix everything up. As you can see, we have our flour milled and finely sifted. I'm going to go ahead and put in 1/8 of a teaspoon of just regular table salt. And I'm going to whisk this to kind of incorporate the salt and the flour together. We're going to put it back on the scale, and we're going to put in our lard. I want to try to use about 15 grams of lard per tortilla. So we're shooting for 30. If we go 35, that's fine. This is real good stuff. It's Fatworks organic pork lard. Let's see how much we got. Got 18. We have a little bit too much there. We'll take some out. That's perfect. And take it off the scale. And now the fun part starts. We are going to combine the lard and the flour. The way you do that is by squeezing the lard into the flour. And what you're going to end up with is it's going to look like coarse sand. But it's actually a lot of fun to do this. This is one of my favorite parts about tortilla making. It's satisfying. Don't ask me why. Just enjoy the process. So you're going to basically try to combine and cover all the grains of flour and the lard you're going to end up with a coarse, sandy flour, I guess. And it goes by quick. You can use one hand, you can use two hands, whatever you're comfortable with. And here we go. This is going to prevent the flour from developing a bunch of gluten and your tortillas getting tough. And as you can see, it's like coarse sand. Very nice. I'm going to go ahead and wash my hands and then we'll continue the process. We're going to add a 1/4 cup of water, of hot tap water per tortilla. So we got a 1/2 cup here. And we're going to mix it together. You can mix it with your hand, you can mix it with a spoon, you can mix it with a spatula. I like to use a Danish dough whisk, it just works real well for me. I like making tortillas because when you are done, basically your cutting board is clean. And you're just going to combine these. And it'll make a non-sticky dough ball. Just combine it till all the dry ingredients are put together. It's not a very sticky dough, which is it's really nice to work with. And then what we are going to do is we're going to use a little bit of all-purpose flour, just in case we need it. Sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. Dump it out on your cutting board. Try to get it mostly combined. It doesn't have to be perfectly combined. And I like using my dough scraper here, my bowl scraper. And we're going to need it for a little while. And like I said, you know you are done when your cutting board is clean. I think it needs a little tiny bit of dusting of all-purpose flour. And yeah, it feels great. You can pretty much clean up your entire cutting board. Pick up all the flour. And it needs just a touch more. You just need it for a few minutes. The dough feels awesome. It isn't fully hydrated yet. What we are going to do after this is we are going to cover it. We're going to shape it into two small dough balls. We're going to weigh it, make sure that they weigh the same, so we get the same size tortilla. We're going to wrap them in plastic wrap, and we're going to let them sit for 30 minutes so they fully hydrate. And I don't think I'm going to need any more flour. This thing feels very nice. Now, like I said, when you are done kneading, you should have a clean cutting board. That's awesome. It's the complete opposite of making biscuits. You make biscuits, you got to basically sandblast your cutting board because you got butter and flour and everything stuck to it. You make tortillas, your hands are moisturized from the lard, and your table is clean. All right, let me weigh these out. And it weighs approximately 290. So we're going to do 145 and 145. Perfect. Perfect. then we're just gonna go ahead and shape these guys. What I'm doing is I push them with my fingers and I bring them back. Push them with my fingers and I bring them back. Push them with my fingers. It's a lot of fun. It's a great stress reliever. Give your shoulders a little bit of a workout. And you can see we have two very nice little dough balls. I'm going to go ahead and wrap these in plastic, and then we'll let them sit for 30 minutes. Okay, it's been longer than 30 minutes since we started this process. In that time, I've been drinking beers and tequila. So we are going to attempt to make some tortillas. Now, the way I make tortillas is going to be different from the way other people make tortillas. There are many more talented people out there making tortillas. This is just the way I make them. Start out with a nice dusting of flour. You're going to need flour. And here are my babies. We'll get them unwrapped sometime today. And my lovely assistant keeps walking into my shop. Okay, basically what I did is I put some flour on the tortilla, put some flour on the board, and now I'm gonna flatten them out into a disc, and now I'm gonna roll them out. Hopefully they'll come out good. If not, we got two. We can mess one up, but we won't, hopefully. And you just roll them. You don't have to put a whole lot of pressure. You just kind of roll them out. Easy, easy, easy. You can put a little bit more pressure on this side, kind of get it rolled out a little bit more even. It's just perfect. It's just easy. When they get to about this size, I like to go ahead and flip them for the last time. You don't want to flip them when they're real thin because they will break. They'll get all distorted and weird on you. You know, this is the way I do it. Again, a little bit more flour on the top. I mean, it's not perfectly round, but it's close. I mean, look at it, it's beautiful. Take a sip of beer. Mexican beer for a Mexican day at the household. Okay, every tortilla that I make gets measured. We cheat nobody. And it's at least 12 to 13 inches. So we'll give this one just a little bit more love. And this should be perfect. I'm going to get set up on my Kamal, my burner thing, and I'm going to show you how I do that. All right. Okay, and we are back. I use this thing, it's called the Super Peel. It makes it real easy to get pizzas and these tortillas off the cutting board. And I'll show you how I do that. I got my lovely assistant filming for me. We pick it up, no problems. Walk it over to this amazing machine here. Drop it off. And I basically shake off the flour in the sink. And we just wait for it to heat up. You can hear it sizzling. It's awesome. And you can see it bubble up. When it starts to bubble up like that, depending on how crispy you want it on the other side, you go ahead and flip it. It's a beautiful tortilla. Try to get rid of some of these air bubbles. Not a big deal. And you basically get it, Flip it on your thing. Flip it on your towel, cover it, and then you need to wipe this machine before the next tortilla. So you get a dry, basically a dry kitchen towel. You wipe it clean and we're ready for the next tortilla. All right, we have our disc of dough on the board, floured, and we're going to try to make this one as nice as the last one. Listen, I can make a ton of tortillas, but what I typically do is I make them the day I'm going to eat them. I don't store them, I just make them. It's two of us, I eat maybe 1 or 2 burritos a week. There's no reason to have 1,000,000 tortillas lying around. Okay, this one's not going to be as pretty as the last one, I don't think. But it's still going to work out fine. Yeah, this one's not going to be as pretty, but that's okay. Because once you roll it up with meat, cheese, onions, and some hot sauce, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. There you go. Look at that. Fix the ugly tortilla. It's not too ugly. It's not bad. I'm just a perfectionist. There you go. It's got it nice and round. Again, every tortilla in this household gets measured. We're not cheating you out of a tortilla if you come and eat here. You're getting a 12 to 13 inch, maybe 14 inch tortilla if I'm feeling generous. All right, that's good enough. You know what? I like them thin. All right. My lovely assistant is going to take the camera and we are going to do this one more time. All right, let's get this thing on the super peel. And I know I'm cheating. And I know there's ladies that grab that tortilla, fling it up in the air, and they put it on their camals and their cast iron pans. But I'm not one of those ladies. I'm just some dude trying to make perfect tortillas. And I'll tell you one thing, these tortillas taste absolutely amazing. And you know what I just realized? I just realized the mic is facing the wrong way. So if the sound is bad on this video, I apologize for that. Look at that beautiful tortilla. It is perfect. It is picture perfect tortilla. Look at the steam. The steam coming out of it. It's a beautiful, gorgeous thing. And we are done. And I think I'm going to try to show you me making some burritos on those tortillas. I made the ground beef. I grated my fresh cheese. Got my sliced onions. We're going to make some burritos. All right?